In this lesson, we will understand how exceptions are handled in Python. Okay, with that, we will also see the key concepts with examples. Let us start. So in Python, we have the try, except, else and finally blocks so that we can handle exceptions. This allows you to catch errors gracefully. Exception handling is essential for dealing with unexpected input, missing files, runtime errors, division by zero error, array out of bound exception and others. Here are the key concepts of exception handling. First is exception, an error that occurs during program execution, like if you are dividing, let's say 5 by 0, it will give you division by 0 exception. Then you have the try block, which is used to raise an exception. Then the except, as the name suggests, a code that runs if an exception occurs. Else, a code that runs if no exception occurs. Finally, will print whatever happens. Okay, that means a code that always runs whether an exception occurs or not. We also have the raise keyword, which is used to manually throw exceptions. You can relate the raise keyword with the throw keyword in Java also. So first, let us see a basic example in which we will use the try and except concept so that we can handle errors. So here is our PyCharm. We already created the Python exception handling project, and within that we added the codes. So this is our first code to handle exceptions in Python with try and except. Okay, so here we are getting the user input. We will input a number, it will get divided and the result will get printed. If let's say we will add 0, it will directly go to this, that is the 0 division error, and it will print whatever we added here, that is cannot divide by 0. Okay. If we will enter a string in case of a number, it will directly go to here value error and it will print error invalid input, please enter a number. So this is how we can use try and except. I'll run. First I'll input, let's say, a number. So I'll input 0. So 10 divided by 0 will be 0 division error. Press enter. You can see cannot divide by 0. The same message is visible. Okay. Now I'll run it again. And now I'll enter a string in place of a number. Let's say S. Now it will print error invalid input. Please enter a number. Okay. Now I'll print a correct number which will divide or which is not 0 in place of num, that is here. Let's say I'll mention 2 and it will print the result, that is 5. So in this way we can use try and except to handle exceptions. Here we handled multiple errors and printed our own message. So guys, we saw the first example of using try and except for error handling. Now let us see the second example in which we will use the else and finally. Else runs only if no exception occurs. That means a true condition. Finally will run whatever happens regardless of the execution. In this you can mention file closed or execution completed, or you can release resources. Let us see an example to understand. So this is our second example using else and finally to handle exceptions in Python. Here we have the following number and a result variable in which we will divide 10 by 5. It won't go to the 0 division error because 10 divided by 5 is 2. So it will go here division successful. I told you before that else will run only if no exception occurs. So there will be no exception. Okay, and finally will always get printed. So the output will be division successful is equal to result, that is 2, and finally will always get printed. So execution completed will get also print. Here it is division successful, that is the else is visible, and after that finally will get printed, that is execution completed. So this is how we can use else and finally to handle exceptions in Python. Now we will see the next example in which we will raise exceptions. So we will use the keyword value error. So value error will be raised if the condition fails. Let us see the example. So here we have our code. First we have our check age function. We have defined it here and passed the age. So 10 will pass here. If 10 is less than 18, it will raise value error. So let us understand the flow of execution. The function is called check underscore age. Execution jumps inside check underscore age and it will pass the value 10. If age is less than 10, 10 is less than 18, it evaluates to true. it raises the following. Normal flow stops here and Python throws a value error. Okay. Since we have wrapped this in try except, control jumps to the except value error as block. Okay. That is this. It will print value error is equal to, for voting, age should be 18 or above. Here it is, it printed it. Okay. So program continues with the next iteration if in a loop. So this is how we can raise exceptions with the raise keyword. So guys, we saw how we can handle exceptions in Python. We saw the try, except, else, finally, as well as the raise keywords. Thank you for watching.